Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.
Welcome into another edition of Golf Pick'em, the free-to-play game on NBC Sports Predictor app, where you make your picks for 7 head-to-head matchups. You pick a tournament winner. Maybe you can be Nick Menta, like one of the 64 people who correctly picked Tyrrell Hatton to win at Bay Hill last week.
Did all 64 people know that it's Tyrrell and not Tyrell?
We're going to have to check. Still have some surveys
because you can't cash in otherwise.
Big week this week. We're at the Players up at TPC Sawgrass, and we're going to start with a big matchup between two of the tournament favorites. World number 1, Rory McIlroy. World number 2, Jon Rahm. They're playing together the first 2 rounds. Who do you like?
I'm taking the defending champion, who just recorded his 7th consecutive top 5 on the PGA Tour. Look, as disappointing as Sunday was at Bay Hill, and as ugly as that front 9 was, and to be sure it was ugly, Rory McIlroy has not given me any reason to pick against him. And this little run that he's on bears a lot of similarities to exactly how he was playing last year when he showed up to TPC Sawgrass and walked away with the Players' Championship. He even acknowledged the similarities himself yesterday after his final round. So I'm sticking with Rory. Rory or Rahm, Will Gray.
I totally agree with you. It's very difficult to pick against Rory McIlroy right now. It is equally difficult to pick against Jon Rahm, who has been a top 10 fixture since the U.S. Open last summer.
The only guy who's been just as hot as Rory over the last year.
Right, exactly. So I actually think I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go against Rory. I'm going to take Jon Rahm, who, as you know, was very much in this potentially a champion last year up until that meltdown in the final round in the back 9. I think if he keeps his head about him a little bit more this year, I think that this is really a situation where he could overtake Rory as the latest winner at this event. I think that taking Jon Rahm may be a little contrarian, but he's going to be my play. All right, Nick, our next matchup features 2 guys who were in a playoff earlier this year at Kapalua, Patrick Reed and the guy who won that playoff, Justin Thomas. Who gets your vote at TPC Sawgrass?
Yeah, and Reed obviously follows up with a win of his own. And if you look at the results this year, it's been a little bit boom or bust for each guy. They both get the win. They have some high finishes. They also have some miscuts and some less notable results. On this golf course, I'm going to pick Justin Thomas. This was difficult for me, but I really value Thomas's ball striking around TPC Sawgrass a little more than a hot putter and some scrambling from Reed. Justin Thomas 5th on tour tee to green. Patrick Reed actually giving up strokes to the field off the tee. And on this golf course, I just like the ball striking a little bit more. I value it more.
Definitely agree with you. The scrambling that Patrick Reed had in Mexico en route to victory, tough to replicate on a weekly basis. And he really doesn't have the course form at this event. 6 trips to the Players, hasn't cracked the top 20. Justin Thomas has played well here, including a tie for 3rd a couple years ago. I'm with you. JT's the guy in this matchup. Nick, our next matchup is between a pair of long hitters, both in search of a little bit of form, Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, Brooks was colorful with his language yesterday in assessing his weekend at Bay Hill. He's in the middle of a 5-week stretch where he's going to play 5 tournaments in a row, and he made it clear that under normal circumstances, that's absolutely not what he would want to do, but he is trying to give himself as many opportunities as he can to maybe just make one golf swing that puts it all together. That being said, his comments did not point to someone who was due for a turnaround anytime quickly. Dustin Johnson's taking the last 2 weeks off. I will take him this week at TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm liking DJ this week. It's high variance right now with Brooks Koepka. The misses are really big. As we saw, he played well on Sunday, but the 81 on Saturday really sticks out. And he hasn't played too well at Sawgrass. He had that memorable albatross on the 16th hole a couple years ago, but that ended in a tie for 11th. That's his best finish yet. DJ 3 straight T17s or better, including a 5th last year. I think more of the same. Nick, our next matchup pairs 2 former champions at TPC Sawgrass, 2004 winner Adam Scott and a winner 2 years ago, Webb Simpson. Who is your pick this week?
Adam Scott has just been so remarkably consistent at this event over the years. In 18 starts, he's made the cut 15 times. He's missed just 3. He's played the weekend each of the last 8 years, and over the last 4 years, he has not finished worse than a tie for 12th. Nothing against Webb Simpson, who was a winner here just 2 years ago, but it's hard to bet against that kind of record. I'll take Scott.
You know what it's hard to bet against, Nick? It's hard to bet against a guy who hasn't finished outside the top 30 in about a year, and that's what we've got with Webb Simpson outside of his finish a couple weeks ago in Mexico. He's been incredibly consistent. He's won on this golf course recently. He's won recently in Phoenix. He is a ball striker's ball striker. I think he is one of the top 5 or 6 favorites overall to win this week. I agree Scott has a good pedigree, but I think that Simpson's the pick. Nick, our next matchup includes a pair of very well-known players, Phil Mickelson and Jordan Spieth, but this one feels like a little bit of a coin flip and not the kind of coin flip you want.
Well known for playing poorly on this golf course in recent years.
Each of the last 5 years, these guys have missed 4 cuts and tied for 41st, so good luck figuring this one out. What do you think?
Yeah, and 2 guys who have not shown any form as of late either. So bad history on this golf course and poor performance as of late. Phil Mickelson has made the cut just once at this event in the last 7 years. Spieth at least got off to a great start in his debut in 2014. Nothing I've seen from Phil recently leads me to believe that he can stage a comeback on this golf course. It's passed him by. I will take Spieth, who's been sitting out the last couple weeks, trying to find it yet again.
Yeah, we're definitely searching for glimmers and embers of hope here. I'm actually going to side with Phil, who, remember, has won on this golf course before in 07, even though he spent the last 13 years saying, I can't believe I won on this golf course. But he did not play terribly at Bay Hill. He missed the cut by a couple shots, but there was enough there to build a little bit of momentum, and I think that moving forward, he might be trending a little bit more in the right direction. Spieth, those misses are still a little too much to stomach on a Pete Dye layout. Nick, our next matchup includes a pair of former champions, 2015 winner Rickie Fowler, 2016 champ Jason Day. One of them might be having some injury concerns. Who's going to get your pick?
Yeah, Day had to withdraw for the 2nd straight year from Bay Hill last week. And sorry, this is just easy for me. Look, Will, this is free to play, okay? And betting on Jason Day's back feels a little bit too much like gambling to me right now. I take Rickie Fowler.
You have to have a little faith in this, Nick. Last year, he withdrew from Bay Hill. He finished in the top 10. The next week at this very same event, he's done that before where he's able to shake off an injury, play well the next week or shortly thereafter. I'm going to take my chances with the Aussie. Rickie Fowler hasn't done anything on this golf course since his win in 2015. Give me J-Day. Nick, our 7th and final matchup this week includes 2012 winner Matt Kuchar and one of the hottest hands on the PGA Tour, Bryson DeChambeau. Who's your guy?
Yeah, as remarkably consistent as Kuchar has been around here, and maybe in a lot of other matchups, I would side with Kuchar. Bryson DeChambeau just keeps proving himself right, is who he's proving right. 3 consecutive top 5s. I didn't think that his maybe bomb and gouge style that he's been employing lately would work at Bay Hill, and he was T5 last week. So I think he gets it done. He is hot, and I think he is due to maybe rip off the biggest win of his career. I take Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, he's trending in the right direction. You have to love some of the strokes gained off the team metrics that he's got now, where he's hitting big drives, but he's putting them in the right position. Matt Kuchar is a runner-up earlier this year at Genesis. He won in Singapore, but I'm with you. I'm going to take Bryson, who's finished 5th or better each of his last 3 starts, including that close call in Mexico. I think that he is going to be one of the top 3 or 4 favorites overall for this week if you're trying to pick a winner, which now we kind of have to do.
And I am picking a winner.
Segue.
And it is Bryson DeChambeau.
Wow, this could be good.
He's my pick for the week. I think he's due. Look, we've spent the last, 5 months talking about this massive body reconstruction. He's been cultivating mass is what Bryson's been doing, and it looks like it's paying off for him. I think he's due not just to win in the near future, but to win in the very near future this week at Sawgrass.
Could be a big win for Bryson, could be a big win for the guy that I'm picking, and that's going to be Jon Rahm. I think that Jon Rahm came close last year, breaks through this week, gets to world number 1. This could be a statement moment, a statement week for the Spaniard. I really like his all-around game. It's not if, but when, and I think this is the week for Jon Rahm. So those are our picks. Remember, make your picks for Golf Pick'em for this week's players. Go onto the NBC Sports Predictor app. It's free to play. Have at it. We'll see you next time.